ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna. Today we will be reading from a very interesting verse, very important verse, very significant verse, and very famous verse. It's from 10th canto, chapter 31, the Gopis' songs of separation, text number 9. तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवनम् कविभिरीदितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना। तब your katha amritam, the nectar of words, tapta jivanam, life for those aggrieved in the material world, kabibhi, by great thinkers, iditam, described, kalmasa apaham, that which drives away sinful reactions, shravana mangalam, giving spiritual benefit when heard, Srimad, filled with spiritual power, Atatam, broadcast all over the world, Bhuvi, in the material world, Grinanti, chant and spread, Ye, those who, Bhuridaha, most benevolent, most beneficent, Janaha, persons. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. Purport. King Prataprudra recited this verse to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during Lord Jagannath Ratha Yatra festival. While the Lord was resting in a garden, King Prataprudra humbly entered and began massaging his legs and lotus feet. Then the king recited the 31st chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the songs of the Gopis. The Chaitanya Charitamrita relates that when Lord Chaitanya heard this verse, beginning Tava Kathamritam, he immediately arose in ecstatic love and embraced King Prataprudra. This incident is described in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 14, text 4 to 18, And in this edition, Srila Prabhupada has given extensive commentary on it. Mukham karati vachalam pangullanghayate giring jat kripa tamam mandi Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So, Amrita Dhara is flowing. So that's why I thought this verse is also talks about Amrita, Kathamrita. So, although this verse is spoken or sung by the gopis, and this is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So as Gauriya Vaishnava, we have some special access to this verse because it talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. Before coming to this verse, we'll discuss the incident how King Prataprudra received the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and got perfection by reciting this verse. But the journey began with the humble service. And Prataprudra Maharaj wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him. Means rejected to meet him. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and other associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always encouraged Prataprudra Maharaj to continue his journey to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prataprudra Maharaj was advised that you should do some services, menial services. Then that will attract the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Prataprudra Maharaj on the Rath Yatra day was sweeping the road in front of Lord Jagannath, so Mahaprabhu was very much happy to see the king is doing some menial services. And that is the only way to attract the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime talks about that only. Wherever Mahaprabhu showed mercy, that is the qualification. So we are the Rupanugas, we are the followers of the Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami was chosen by Mahaprabhu to be the principal Acharya of our Parampara. And what was his qualification? He had so many qualifications, but Mahaprabhu empowered him to be the Acharya because he exhibited the quality of extreme humility. When Rup and Sanatan met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramkeli, Rup and Sanatan told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they are more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. And they are not trying to impress Mahaprabhu by being artificially humble. That generally people have a tendency to do that. Prabhu, I am most fallen. Please give me mercy. But inside they know they are the greatest devotees. But externally they want to show some humility. I am very fallen, I am very sinful. One of the disciples of Prabhupada told Prabhupada, I am most fallen. So Prabhupada said, you are not most of anything. So I, that is the symptom of ego. I has to be replaced by Krishna. That is the symptom of humility. Humility means appreciating the greatness of others. That is the symptom of humility. Not that, oh, I am this, I am that. That is not the expression of humility. So Rupa and Sanatan genuinely expressed their position being more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. And Mahaprabhu told, please give up your humility. So throughout his teaching, Mahaprabhu is teaching us to give up pride. But he is telling Rupa and Sanatan to give up pride. Why? Because your humility is breaking my heart. Our pride is breaking the heart of Mahaprabhu, but Rupa and Sanatan's humility is breaking the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all are in the same page, but opposite. So that is the mercy. That is the cause of mercy flowing. And that's why Rupa Goswami could understand the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To understand the mind of a devotee is very difficult. To understand the mind of a person is very difficult. To understand the mind of Lord is very difficult. And to understand the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, is almost impossible for anyone. But Rupa Goswami understood. Why? Because Mahaprabhu gave all the mercy, complete mercy, unto Rupa Goswami. Why? Because of his humility. Mahaprabhu came to Ramkeli to meet him. Not that Rupa Goswami had to go to Jagannath Puri to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the potency of humility. Mahaprabhu did not have to go to Ramkeli. He took that route to go to Vrindavan. But that is not the way to go to Vrindavan. From Jagannath Puri to go to Vrindavan, you don't have to go to Bengal. But Mahaprabhu took that route. Why? Because his intention was not to go to Vrindavan. His intention was to meet Rupa and Sanatana. That is the potency of Rupa Goswami. And when Mahaprabhu was singing that song, no, in front of Jagannath, Ratha Yatra time, famous verse, it's like a love song. That I am the same boy, you're the same girl, but we are not experiencing the same happiness when we used to meet. That time. That was a song. It's like a normal, it's like a love song, and people could not understand. Mahaprabhu is singing. Mahaprabhu did not allow any lady to come nearby. How to talk about talking and singing this kind of song. But Mahaprabhu was singing that song. But Rupa Goswami understood the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what was the mood? Mood of Radharani. When Radharani met Krishna at Kurukshetra. So Radharani told Krishna, you are the same Krishna, I am same Radharani, but we are not experiencing that happiness. Please come to Vrindavan. So all the gopis headed by Radharani were dragging Krishna, his chariot, to Vrindavan. That was the mood. And that mood was reflected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having the mood of Srimati Radharani and Jagannath is Krishna. So in that mood, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing that song. And Rupa Goswami composed beautiful verse in Sanskrit in relation to that song of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Mahaprabhu saw that, he was amazed, and he asked Swarup Damodar, how come Rup knows my heart? So Swarup Damodar said, who has received your mercy, nothing can be hidden, my dear Lord. So Rupa Goswami could hear, could see, could understand the intention, the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because of that quality of ultimate humility. And that is the journey. Spiritual journey begins with that. If we don't have that, we are in neutral gear. Means nothing will move. Looks like everything is happening, but nothing is moving. Why nothing is moving? Because we are in neutral gear. The bike is on, car is on, fuel is there, car is a high quality car, the best brand in the world, but car is not moving. Why? Neutral gear. Nothing is going to move. So the movement will happen when we cultivate the quality of humility. And that is the lesson. And Mahaprabhu in every pastime. For Prataparudra Maharaj, it was impossible. He is a king. To meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not only meet. What happened when Mahaprabhu saw that Prataparudra Maharaj is sweeping the road in front of Jagannath, he wanted to show his mercy. And while Mahaprabhu was resting after Ratha Yatra was over in the garden, so Prataparudra Maharaj went in a Vaishnava dress, not in a royal dress. And he started massaging the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started reciting this chapter, Gopi Geet. And when he started the Gopi Geet, Mahaprabhu was excited. Sing more, sing more. And when he came to this verse, Tava kathamritam taptu jivanam, Mahaprabhu could not control himself. He started embracing Prataprudra Maharaj. So he got the embrace, loving embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by reciting this verse. So if we can recite this verse properly, with the proper mood, the way Prataprudra Maharaj recited, so chance is there that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will embrace us, loving embrace. That is the perfection of our life. So you want that embrace of Mahaprabhu? Why not, Prabhu? It will be very wonderful. But in order to get that embrace, we have to follow in the footsteps of Prataprudra Maharaj, menial service and humble servant of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So when we cultivate that mood, we can achieve the highest perfection in our life. So come to the verse. It's a very important verse for the Gauriya Vaishnavas because it talks about spreading the message of the Lord. So Gopis is very interesting. Gopis are singing this song and they talk about preaching. Right? Very interesting. That is the most merciful feature when someone spreads the message of the Lord all over the world. So we'll try to analyze this verse as much as possible because it's very difficult, because this is the topmost section, that Gopi's mood. Somehow Rupa Goswami could understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But for us to understand the mood of Srimati Radharani and the Gopis who sang these songs is impossible. But our acharyas, they commented. So in that way we can try to repeat without any experience. We should try to understand the mood. Tava kathamritam, amritam. We all like to be amritam, right? We don't want to be mritam. Amritam means nectar. So kathamritam means nectar of words, nectar of the topic about Krishna. Kathamritam. It's not a normal amritam. There are two kinds of amrita. Acharyas are explaining. One is amrita or nectar of the heaven, and also nectar of liberation. Two kinds of nectar. But this nectar is not that nectar. It's far superior than other two nectars. So nectar has two qualifications. Nectar gives liberation and nectar is the form of highest bliss. So amrita, kathamrita, by drinking that nectar, we will be freed from the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. That is the first effect of this amritam. So when we hear Krishna Katha, then there is no question of repetition of birth, death, old age and disease. The cycle of birth, death, old age and disease is dissolved. That is the power of Kathamritam. Whose Katha? Tava Kathamritam. Tava means Krishna. Krishna Katha is very, very powerful. So, it is not giving liberation from this material entanglement. It is also very blissful. Very blissful. It is a form of highest bliss. So nectar of heaven increases our desires. That is the effect of heavenly nectar. But this nectar completely destroys our material desires. And when our material desires are completely destroyed, then we experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So as long as we have material desire, we cannot experience spiritual bliss. So Prabhupada used to say, material desires and Krishna consciousness cannot go together. Prabhupada used to say in Bengali proverb, dudo khabo, tamako khabo. So we have a tendency now. We need both. Dudo khabo means in Bengali everything is khabo. Means dudo khabo means we will drink milk. At the same time we also chew tobacco. So milk is very good for health and tobacco is cause of cancer. But we need both. So material desire is the cancer and milk is the nectar. But we want both. Both cannot happen. We have to choose one. Either nectar or poison. But our misfortune is that instead of hearing also, our acharyas are singing that after hearing this kind of nectarian Krishna Katha, we still have the desire to drink the poison of material enjoyment. So, material enjoyment is very alluring. We like to enjoy. Why we like to enjoy? What is the cause of our enjoyment spirit? Why we like to enjoy? Because we don't know the real enjoyer. We have forgotten, na? Krishna bhuli sei jeev anadi bahirmukh, right? Krishna bhuli, Krishna bahirmukh hoiya bhagavancha kare. Nikotastha mayatare jhapoti adar. Whenever we forget Krishna, then what happens? Bhagavancha kare. We desire to enjoy. So forgetfulness of Krishna is the root cause of our enjoyment spirit. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is giving us the knowledge about Krishna. When we come to know that Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhaktaram Jagatapusang Sarvalokha Maheshwaram Suidang Sarvabhutanam Gyattamang Sante Micchati. So beginning of Krishna consciousness is that to understand that I am not the enjoyer, Krishna is the enjoyer. That is very, very important point to understand. And is very difficult to practice. To accept Krishna as the enjoyer theoretically is okay, but to practice that is very, very difficult. So, Krishna consciousness means everything has to be connected with Krishna. That is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. Krishna is the center. Right? But in this world, I am the center. I am the enjoyer. I am the proprietor. So Krishna consciousness is very simple. I has to be replaced by Krishna. So as long as I is there, there is no question of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means replacing I with Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness can take place in our life when I am is not in the scene. When Krishna is in the scene of our life. That is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. So whatever we eat, it should be offered to Krishna out of love and take. Whatever we want to do it as a service to Krishna. Process is very simple, but consciousness has to be cultivated. That is the journey. So coming to the point that this Krishna Katha is the highest form of spiritual bliss. So when someone hears Krishna Katha, he will experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So Parikshit Maharaj was experiencing that. Why? Because he was completely free from material desire. He did not eat for 7 days and 7 nights. He did not sleep for 7 days and 7 nights. And did not drink for 7 days and 7 nights. Not only Parikshit Maharaj, all the sages assembled there, they also were like that. Such was the potency of Krishna Katha spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. So that Katha, Amrita, the nectar of the topic of Krishna, in this verse exhibits 6 qualities. Just like Krishna has 6 opulences, then these 6 opulences are exhibited in this verse. Krishna Katha and Krishna, same. Very interestingly, it is explained by our acharyas that this Krishna Katha has all the 6 opulences, all 6 qualities of Krishna. So it begins with Tapta Jivanam. First is Tapta Jivanam. What is the meaning of Tapta Jivanam? Here it is explained, Tapta Jivanam means life for those aggrieved in the material world. We can have different kinds of meaning. Means our material miseries will go away. We will be free from the material miseries in the form of birth, death, old age and disease, in the form of Adi Bhautika, Adi Doivika, Adi Atmika kleshas, and many other varieties of kleshas, miseries are there in this world. So as soon as we hear Krishna Katha, we will be free from this kleshas, all these miseries. So it shows the quality of Vairagya. As soon as we hear Krishna Katha, we will cultivate Vairagya, detachment. And that is the nature of bhakti. Bhakti parasno bhava viraktir annatracha. Whenever we experience that feeling of bhakti, bhakti paras anubhava, bhakti paras anubhava, viraktir annatracha, naturally we develop detachment from this material world. So I like this material world, and at the same time I am experiencing the bliss, is not a correct statement. So if I like this world, means I am not experiencing bhakti. Because problem is that why our journey is continuing in this world. One of the Prabhupada disciples said 3 words will keep us in this world eternally. It is keeping us. What are the 3 words? I like it. So I like it is enough. This sentence is enough to keep us in this world. So if I like this world, means we are not experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So Tapta Jivanam. This world is not the world of bliss. This world is the world of suffering. Krishna has said that. But by the avaranitmika maya, by the covering potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we like it. We get kick after kick, but when kick is not there for some time, we feel, oh, it's very good. Then another kick. That time again, it's not bad. Then again some kick is off for some time. Oh, I like it. Because of the avaranatmika maya. I love you, kick. Then, oh, he doesn't love me. Then another one, I love you. Then another kick. So many kicks we got, millions of kicks we got in our life. Not in this life, millions of lifetimes. Still, we make plan to love someone, to love something. That is the potency of avaranatmika maya of Krishna. Otherwise, how we can continue, no? Unless you like something, how we can continue? So somehow or other Krishna makes the arrangement so that we can like this world. It's not that Maya is embracing us. We are embracing Maya. If you embrace a tree and if you say, please release me, how? You have to come out from the Maya. So that is the problem we have. So we have to give up. So bhakti parasana bhava viraktir annatra cha sa tapakatham tapta jivanam. That nectar will relieve all the pangs of suffering of this world. Immediately, all suffering will disappear. And Parikshit Maharaj was not experiencing any misery. We know what is fasting, right? One day fasting, Nirjala Ekadasi, especially in Kali Yuga. So we don't think about Krishna. The purpose of Upavas or fasting means to remember Krishna. Upavas means staying near to Krishna. Why people do fasting? Because they are so absorbed in chanting and hearing in the service, they don't have any time to cook. But our fasting is not like that. For Janmashtami, we think about when 12 o'clock will come. Right, when it will come. And intensity increases. 6 o'clock in the evening, intensity is very high. And Prabhupada, on Janmashtami, after Abhisheka was over, Krishna book is to be read, Janmashtami day. And Prabhupada started reading Krishna book, after Abhishek. So after Abhishek, which book we like? We don't like any book. We rush towards Prasadam Hall. But Prabhupada is speaking, Prabhupada is reading Krishna book, nobody can go. So Prabhupada, first chapter was over. First chapter of Krishna book. Then Prabhupada, they said, Jai Prabhupada, think he'll stop because we have to go. Prabhupada started second chapter, third chapter, and all the sannyasis, their dandas are not with their hand. All are falling, including themselves. But Krishna book was read by Prabhupada without any interruption, and he was enjoying the nectar of Krishna Katha. But what was happening to others? That was not Amritam. That was something else. So by that we can understand our level of Krishna consciousness. Because we are not experiencing the nectar. We cannot copy it, but we can understand the level. But we want to have the same perfection of Parikshit Maharaj, no? Golok Vrindavan, with Radha and Krishna, nothing else. Because Mahaprabhu said, Aradha Bhagavan Brajasatane Tadhama Vrindavanam, Ramma Kachit Upasana Brajavadu Pargana Kalpita. We don't want anything else other than Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. We want to go to Braj. But qualification has to be there also, no? First deserve, then desire. So we have to have qualifications. So these are the qualification of Krishna Katha, qualities of Krishna Katha. First is Tapta Jivanam. It releases one from the miseries of this material world. That reflects the quality of Vairagya of Krishna. Then it is sung by Kavi Viriditam, by the great thinkers, by the great devotees, by the Rasika Bhaktas. This Krishna Katha is sung by them. And it is explained, these Kavis are Brahma, Shiva, 4 Kumaras, all the great souls. They sing Krishna Katha. Sukadev Goswami, Sutta Goswami, they are singing Krishna Katha. So by this, we can understand that Krishna Katha can be sung by the realized souls. And this Kavi Viriditam reflects the quality of Jnanam of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It contains transcendental knowledge and is sung by those who have this transcendental knowledge. Singing Katha Mritam, the quality of speech depends on realization. Spiritual life is not about information. Information is readily available. nowadays internet age. Any information, Google search, you'll get it. But spiritual life is not about information, loading information. Spiritual life is all about transformation. And for that, we need to be realized. Who can transform others? Who is first transformed. So that's why we have to get the mercy of the realized soul. So realization comes only by the mercy of the pure devotees. So taking shelter of the pure devotees is the key to have realization. That's why Prabhupada used to encourage the disciple, speak from your realization, speak from your heart. Preparation is not discouraged, preparation has to be there. Krishna does not need preparation. The day before Kurukshetra war, Krishna was not preparing. That tomorrow I have to speak whole Bhagavad Gita, not one chapter, not one verse, 700 verses. Let me prepare. It was not like that. Sukadeva Goswami had once 18,000 verses. So for us is a struggle, no? Those who are doing Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta say, my God, what a level Sukadeva Goswami had. Had only once from his father and repeated as it is with realization. So realization will come when we get the association of realized soul and when we speak from the heart. Generally we have a tendency to speak from intellect. That is the transmission of knowledge. But when we speak from the heart, what will happen? Transformation will take place. Heart to heart transmission. And that is the meaning of initiation. Initiation means transformation of the heart, change of heart. Prabhupada writes in the purport also. When Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki, and Prabhupada said that is the meaning of initiation. Initiation means transfer of Krishna from the heart of the spiritual master to the heart of the disciple. But we think initiation means change of name. Very important. Prabhuji, I got initiated. Why? My God, name got changed. So initiation means change of name. For brahmacharis, change of dress, change of hairstyle. So many changes take place. People like to change their place also. In that way, we think that initiation took place. But real meaning of initiation when that change takes place in the heart. That is the real meaning of initiation. How it happens? Because when a pure devotee speaks or realized person speaks, that sound vibration, Srimad Bhagavatam explains, that sound vibration contains the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. That's why it is known as Birjavati Harikatha. Krishna Katha, which has lot of potency. Why? Because it's coming from the heart. And in the heart, Krishna is there. And that transcendental sound vibration carries the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. And when that sound vibration enters into the ear and goes to the heart, then Krishna is transferred from the heart of the speaker to the heart of the listener. That is the effect of hearing Krishna Katha. So that type of reciter is explained here. So that is Kavi Viriditam. It is sung by the Rasika Bhaktas, realized souls, the great thinkers. Then what happens? Kalma sapaham. That which drives away sinful reactions. So you have, those who have studied Nectar of Devotion, there is a cycle, right, of karma. There are 4 kinds of karma, right? Parabdha, Aparabdha, Kuta, Bija. So generally, pure devotional service destroys all. Generally, other processes can nullify the reaction, but the desire, root, is not uprooted. By the process of pure devotional service, our desire to enjoy, desire to commit sinful activity is completely finished. That is the potency. And it is said that whatever reactions we are getting, what we are going to get in the future, what is there in the heart, everything is nullified, vanquished by the process of pure devotional service, as explained by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. So that is the power. It is very, very powerful. It kalmasapaham, it destroys, drives away all sinful reactions. And this reflects the quality of virya, the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like Krishna is very, very powerful. He killed all the demons in his pastime to establish dharma. In the same way, Krishna Katha kills the demon-like desires in our heart, sinful desires are killed by Krishna Katha. So in that way, that quality of virya is reflected in this kalmasapaham. Then it is explained, Shravana Mangalam, auspicious, very, very auspicious. That is also one of the symptoms of pure devotional service. It's all auspicious. Subhada. Klesagni, Subhada. These are the two qualities of sadhana bhakti. There are 6 qualities of pure devotional service. Klesagni and Subhada are the qualifications of sadhana bhakti. So, Subhada relates to yasa, kirti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know that Krishna has 6 opulences, Lord has 6 opulences. Aisarjasya samagrasya virjasya jasasriya jnana vairagyasyaiva sangnang bhagavatingana. Definition of God given by Parashar Muni. So Aisarya means wealth. Wealth, power, fame, beauty, knowledge and renunciation are the 6 opulences of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just like Krishna has 6 opulences, 6 qualities, Krishna Katha also has these 6 qualities. So this verse is explaining that. So Shravana Mangalam is about yasa or fame or kirti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it creates auspiciousness. Krishna is all auspicious, and whoever is connected with him also becomes auspicious. So in the same way, Krishna Katha is also all auspicious. So when we hear Krishna Katha, our life also becomes very, very auspicious. Then Srimad-atatam. Srimad-atatam. Srimad. Here it is given the meaning filled with spiritual power. So it reflects 2 qualities. Sri means beauty and also Aishwarya, opulence. So Krishna has beauty, extremely beautiful Krishna is, and it is explained also Krishna's beauty. So how beautiful Krishna is? You can explain? Nobody can explain. Krishna cannot explain. Krishna also was, Krishna knows everything. Avijja Sarat. Krishna told in Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse. I know everything. But Krishna has problem in this verse also. Because he was thinking, my God, I declared I know everything, but I don't know. What I don't know? How beautiful I am. He does not know. Because he was attracted to a beautiful boy in the Vrindavan, which was created by Krishna himself. And he saw, and he was running to embrace that boy. And he started realizing that is his own reflection. He said, oh my God, I am so beautiful. I did not know that. So what is the use to be a God? I don't experience the happiness what the gopis are experiencing by seeing my beautiful form. That's why Prabhupada said that sweet, just like Rasmalai, is very sweet. But Rasmalai knows how sweet he is. No. Who experiences it? Who is it? So what is the good choice? To become Rasmalai or testing it? So people like to be God, but Prabhupada said, I am giving a process by which you can become greater than God. You can experience God in your life. So Krishna himself is planning to become devotee of God. The best devotee, Srimati Radharani. Why? To experience his own beauty. So one gopi came to Srimati Radharani and told Radharani, I saw the beautiful form of Krishna. He said, you are very fortunate. That fortune will not come in my life. He said, why? Because when I see one limb of Krishna's body, I cannot take out my eye from that limb of Krishna. So how can I see the form of Krishna? Not possible. How beautiful Krishna is. So that's why gopis are condemning the creator, that he does not know how to create. To see the beautiful form of Krishna, he should have given unlimited eyes. Right? But he has given only 2 eyes. Such a... Gopis are telling in a very, very angry mood. And he doesn't know also how to create these eyes. He has given eyelids. So blinking of the eyelids is like a juga for gopis. For us, we don't realize it's blinking, right? We don't realize that it's blinking, stopping the... It does not blink. It completely closes also. As soon as we hear Krishna Katha, we close our eyes. But gopis, Krishna Katha is so beautiful, like Krishna. So gopis, when Krishna used to come back from the forest, they were like that, want to see Krishna. And that's why that time they spoke this verse, that the Creator does not know. But when we hear Krishna Katha, what happens to us? So not only blinking happens, blinking stops. Because eye closes. So that is the power of Krishna Katha. Why it happens, you know that? Why it happens? Because when Kumbhakarna was killed, everyone was happy. But one person was not happy, Nidra Devi. Nidra Devi came to Lord Ram, he said, you took away my wonderful shelter. Kumbhakarna was a good shelter of Nidra Devi. So you took away my shelter, and by the association of Kumbhakarna, I got contaminated also. So now I am contaminated and I am having no shelter. So what will happen to me? So Lord Ram said, don't worry, I have arranged everything for you. So in the future, wherever there will be Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, go there. And you have unlimited shelter. And by hearing Krishna Katha, you will be purified. So whenever there is Krishna Katha, Nidra Devi moves around. So you decide, you take shelter of Krishna Katha or take shelter of Nidra Devi. So that's why you feel very sleepy during Krishna Katha. As soon as Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya, Chakshus Unmilitan, that time Chakshu Nimilitam happens. And when Mahaprasade Govinda is chanted, we wake up. That is the formula. Because we don't have taste. According to taste, we remain awake. But gopis want to be awake to see the beauty of Krishna. They don't want the blinking of the eyes also. That is the gopis. And what about the gopas, the sakhas? When Krishna goes for grazing in the forest, there are a lot of trees in Vrindavan. And when Krishna goes behind a tree for a moment, and when the cowherd boys cannot see Krishna for a moment, they faint on the ground. Sanatana Goswami explains. That is the intensity of love of the gopas. One moment of separation they cannot bear. And for us, no separation. There is no union. How we have separation? First have union, then separation. No. So that is the love of the gopas. That's why Jugaitam Nimeshana Chakshusha Pabrisaitam. When I used to hear this verse, I say it's like a poetic explanation. But when I read the love of gopis and love of gopas, we can understand little bit. It's not possible to realize it, but we can get a glimpse of understanding what an intensity they have in Krishna consciousness. So that's why Krishna is very beautiful. Radharani cannot understand The beauty of Krishna, Krishna even himself does not understand his beauty because it's unlimited. What is the meaning of unlimited? It is always expanding. When Radharani sees Krishna, his beauty increases. When Krishna sees Radharani, Radharani's beauty increases. So how Krishna can understand? Because his beauty is ever increasing. That is the nature of Krishna's beauty. So Krishna Katha is also like that. Unlimitedly beautiful, and it has also unlimited opulence. Generally, we have to spend money to get something in this world, but Krishna Katha gives opulence. What opulence? He will give the opulence of Krishna Prema. It will give the opulence of entering into the topmost planet, Goloka Vrindavan. So Krishna Katha is very powerful, it is very beautiful, and it has the opulence of Krishna. So in that way, our Acharyas are explaining Krishna Katha has all the 6 opulences, like Krishna has 6 opulences. So we should have that conviction and absorb ourselves in Krishna Katha, just like Parikshit Maharaj absorbed himself. Because absorption is the qualification to enter into Vrindavan. Absorption is the qualification to enter into the spiritual world. Without absorption, nothing is going to happen. So absorption comes from hearing. More you hear from realized soul, more you can be absorbed. Absorption. And who is the most merciful person? Most charitable? Bhurida. When Mahaprabhu heard that Bhurida word, he was so excited. Bhurida, Bhurida. Most beneficent. Who distributes that knowledge? Who speaks this Krishna Katha all over the world? He is Bhurida. So most pleasing to Krishna, most pleasing to gopis, most pleasing to the residents of Braj are those who spread the message of Lord all over the world. By that we can understand the mood of the Gauriya Vaishnavas, why they spread the message all over the world. Because this is the most pleasing service we can render to Krishna and his servants. So with that mood, we should lead our spiritual life. Then one day, maybe this verse can be realized and Krishna will be revealed in our life, and that will be the perfection of our spiritual journey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki